Hey guys, I'm here today to prove to you that a 5 to 6 day work week forces you to find your identity through work, neglecting you the ability to live an enriching life outside of it. We work 70% of the days that we have on this planet. Is work really who we are? Does it define us? If you have a 5 day work week, it just might. We have become a society that places expectations on the idea that the more you work, the more successful you'll be in life. Are we losing sight of what it means to be successful? What is the cost of happiness? A job well done? According to Mark Fenton O'Creevy in his autumn 1995 article published by the Oxford Human Resource Management Journal, studies have shown that part-time employees exhibit lower rates of unhappiness with their employers. Because they don't worry as much about salary rates and growth opportunities, they were able to take advantage of the time outside of their work. Today, I will discuss the realities behind a full-time job and the disadvantages assumed when fully committing yourself to a life defined by work. Most full-time jobs require a 5 to 6 day commitment of 40 to 50 hours per week. If you work over 40 hours in 5 days, you are committed to 8 hours a day just working. Going to work is more than just time spent on the clock, though. Factoring in commute times to and from add to your time away from home. A study by Ben Clark and his peers in the December 2020 article, How Commuting Affects Subjective Well-Being, published in the New York Transportation Journal, they found on average that employees have a one-way commute time of 27 minutes. This adds almost an hour of non-personal time to the daily commitment of a worker. Most jobs require you to be fully dedicated to their practice. You are unable to make personal calls, emails, or appointments with friends or family while on the clock. For 8+ hours of your day, you are property of your employer, and you are unable to attend to any pressing personal matters. Although your job may require you to join the entirety of your work period, they may choose not to pay you until you are actively producing what they consider to be work. In the article, How Amazon Became Santa's Sweatshop, published in the New York Daily Beast on December 11, 2014, Sally Cohn brings up the fact that flight attendants are only paid during actual flight time. They do not get paid before or after the flight, but are still required to be present, boarding flyers, waiting through flight delays, or waiting to fly back home. Some salary contracts don't even require the employer to pay overtime. As jobs try to prove their worth to you, they can sign you up as a salaried employee. While you count on a consistent paycheck, there will be times when the company asks you to give more of your time to them, rendering you in a position to make less money than some hourly employees. You could work more hours, but get no financial incentive to do so. This time commitment of a full-time job does not allow much room for social growth, education advancement, or family creation. You won't find time to express any creative outlets or side projects that you may want to do. Personal growth starts to seem unrealistic due to the time constraints of at-work requirements. Trying to juggle a job at the same time as trying to find a partner and start a family is stunted by the requirements of your job. Working hard to play hard is hard to realize when most of your time is spent working. As we strive to find our identities outside of work, we need to be mindful of the challenges that arise when we start to develop outside relationships and create families. Parents are forced to find credible childcare options that fit into their budget and allow for safekeeping of their kids. Most jobs do not pay employees to supplement these costs. Childcare is expensive, and it can compel you to take on more work to afford care that you trust. Childcare is often hard to find, especially when you don't have ample time to do the proper checks and balances on the establishments that will be taking care of your children. Because we live in a society where both parents have to work full-time, they typically cannot provide their own childcare. When parents are free of work, they are oftentimes too tired and complacent to give proper attention to their family. This lack of attention that the children receive causes them to be less engaged with their parents. Strangers are thrust into a role of raising your kids, providing guidance on the children while the parents work to earn a living. In the article, 4-Day Workweek Improves Environment, published in the Denver Journal of Environmental Health by Charles S. Catlin in March 1997, they found that transitioning to a 4-day workweek helped families lower their childcare costs. They found that parents expressed deep appreciation for their employer. They finally had the opportunity to spend more time with their family. As we realize the burdens of work and how it affects our mental health and well-being, we need to have the ability to have freedom from work. Full-time jobs do not allow employees to recover from work or take vacations. A proper vacation cannot be achieved in the 1 to 2 days off a week some jobs give you. Although some jobs don't pay time off, that makes it a huge challenge for you to set money aside for leisure. They might offer vacation benefits, whether paid or unpaid, but employees feel pressure when taking time off. as they are conditioned to believe that being away from work can hurt their performance in the eyes of the employer. This lack of time away causes the employee to never fully reset or find energy to work harder and more efficiently. They feel trapped in a loop of wanting to have time off, but knowing it can affect their job performance. Slowly, yet surely, work starts to become the center of your life. We live to work instead of working to live, allowing our careers to dictate the choices we make outside of the workplace. These jobs force us to find our identities through work. We value ourselves based on our job performance and ability to grow within the company, and not as humans with our own personal goals and dreams. But there are reasons why the 5-day work week is standard. In the same article by Mark Fenton O'Creevy, published in autumn 1995 by the Oxford Human Resource Management Journal, he says that companies fear that part-time employees will have different motivations than employees working full hours. They feel the best work comes from workers fully dedicated to the job, as the employees compare the value of their own work to the worth of their self. They feel that employees who could dedicate more time to a job will have the company's best interests at heart. They posit that people who don't get caught up in having families and relationships can spend more time focused at work. We have to understand that companies view us as a cog in their machine. They ask a lot from us, but rarely exhibit their understanding that we are individuals with personal goals outside of the workplace. We are fathers. We are mothers. We are sons and daughters. We're husbands and wives. We're best friends. We're neighbors. The increasing pressure to devote yourself to a career will cause us all to be less of the people that we need to be. We are better humans if we are afforded the opportunity to act as such. In conclusion, it's time to break the stigma that we need to find our identity through our achievements at work. We need to stop giving employers more than they ask from us. Employers seek performance improvements to validate promotions, so employees could work harder than they need to impress their superiors and sacrifice self-care and family to achieve work goals. We need to take back our lives, to believe that we are more than our job. We cannot allow the outdated structure of career expectations to distract us from real life. A job should not wholly define you. In the February 2009 article, Welcome to the Circus, published in Veterinary Economics by Catherine Bontrager, Dr. Andrew Rollo warns of the challenges of finding a proper work-life balance, claiming it is extremely important to understand that if you cannot enjoy the fruits of your labor, then what's the point of the fruit or the labor? If we can remember that we work to earn the ability to live, we won't blindly dedicate ourselves to an employer that views you as a statistic in achieving their goals and none of your own. If your entire life is dedicated to work, then work will be your entire life. You don't want to wake up one day and realize you have diminished your dreams by working all the time and deciding that you will only be successful by the performance at your job.